Good afternoon, class. So today is 8th of October, and we will have to cover the current affairs of today. So the first news is related to the Tanzania novelist win Nobel Prize for Literature, and two things you have to remember: what his work mainly constitutes of, and what is his name. His name is Abdul Razak Gurna, belong to Tanzania. See where this country is located. And secondly, he have written books about the uncompromising and the compassionate penetration of effects of colonialism and fate of refugees. So basically, this is African nation, and much of the Tanzania was basically a country which was ruled under the Britain or under the British Empire. When Britisher left, there was a lot of influx of the refugees due to the civil war, or after which the Britishers left, there was no stability that was secure to the African nation, and major power centers basically developed in the African area. Now, over the time, what led to the life of the people who were left behind after the colonizers went back, he mainly have written books about the refugee crisis. So I think you would have heard of the, I think 3 or 4 years back, I don't know whether you have seen this image or not. There was a small child that was lying on the seashore, who were getting into the territory of France or Portugal, I do not remember which country, across the Mediterranean, and his photo was wide publicized or published across the entire world. He was wearing red t-shirt and blue jeans, I think. So that has been the refugee crisis in African nation to the European nation. So on that particular theme, he have done all his work, and therefore he was basically at that particular time being given awarded, and he is the first person or first African to basically win the award. So you must remember his name, and his name is Abdul Razak Gurna. The next one is SC question income limit for EWS quota. So as it has happened or it is happening. What is economic weaker section? Economic weaker section is something that the government tells you to, who have certain criteria, and under that criteria, if you fall within, that is the economic weaker section. Now, please remember the 10% economic weaker section quota was included in the constitution by the 103rd constitutional amendment, and this led to the 10% reservation for any people who is below earning 8 lakh rupee or less in a particular financial year from all the family resources. Now, the government have basically been questioned by the Supreme Court of India that which is the procedure and the way, or any form of committee that you have constituted, or how do you come up with this random number, that is this 8 lakh rupees figure. Please explain to us. So the Supreme Court is slowly and steadily working toward the exact representation, or whether the reservation should exceed 50% or not. But firstly, they have questioned the whole criteria and the base of the 8 lakh rupees criteria, or the limit which has been fixed by the central government, that on which basis it has been fixed. So that is the initialization of the proceeding with regard to the quota norms. तो उसको ध्यान रखिएगा. The next one is the 21-day drive to clean Yamuna kicks off. So Yamuna, I think, as you know, has been one of the most, you can say, polluted river of the country, and in that there are drive that is basically being conducted with the help of excavator and amphibious machines to clear the waste under the Clean India program. And in that there will be different people who will be joining, and in that there is a person called as Rajendra Singh, who has been called as the waterman of India. He will also be associating in the Clean Yamuna project. So that is a good, I think, initiative basically to clean the rivers of India. And such initiative, I think, should be started here and there, here and there now, to basically keep the river free from any pollution, whether it is plastic or any other that is being dumped into the river. The next news is related to killing the chills. So I hope you remember, this is the science appreciation with regard to the availability of the vaccine for malaria. डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस इतना ध्यान रखिए, वैक्सीन जो है मलेरिया के लिए बनाई गई. देयर हैव बीन मलेरियल डेथ्स इफ वी टॉक अबाउट इन अफ्रीका 4.09 lakh and 229 million cases of malaria has been being found in the world. And in 2019, half of the world children were at the risk of basically developing malaria or basically suffering from malaria due to one or another cases. So this is a huge vaccine that have been basically bringing a type of change into the society. The next one is the handling complexity. So this is with regard to the physics Nobel prizes. Now, please remember the physics Nobel prize is basically provided to three persons. And the name of the three persons are Klaus Hasselmann. Then we have Socorro Manabe. And the final is, I think they are given to two persons. No, it is given a trio of researchers. One half went to Socorro Manabe, and the second is for Klaus Hasselmann. चलिए नाम इनके बाद में लिख लीजिएगा. I think only two names are mentioned here. The third name is not mentioned here. चलिए हम लिखा तो ट्रियो है but only two names are mentioned. So what did they do? First of all, I hope you understand that climate is a very complex phenomenon, and in the climate complex phenomenon, the physicists are basically provided for the work that is basically done either in the black holes or either in the string theory or either in some kind of association that is not affecting the common people. Generally, this has been the trend, but for the very first time, the physics prize has been awarded for the assessment of the changes that happen in the environmental area. So this award is basically divided into two parts. The first part is with regard to the association or the temperature or the direct relation with regard to the human activities that led to the increase in the temperature. So there was an assessment of how much increase in the carbon dioxide have happened in the atmosphere over the last 10 years. So keeping on year data record, it can easily be presumed that the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere have increased significantly over the last decade that have led to increase in the global warming of the world. Okay. The next is with regard to the complexity. So weather and climate pattern are being understood. What kind of complex forms are there? Already we have talked about that assessment of a particular weather at a particular place is a very difficult thing. And assessment of, you can say, climate is more difficult when we compare, is less difficult when we compare it to the long-term average. So that is the second half of this particular prize. ठीक है, तो इसके डिटेल में भी जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस इतना ही ध्यान रखिए. Okay, further moving on, seeding a data revolution in Indian agriculture. Now, what is this? Now, please remember there have been two back-to-back papers that have been provided. What is the theme of this particular papers or these two particular papers? They say that Indian agriculture can only work ahead if there is a data revolution. And what does we mean by data revolution? Data revolution simply means that if there is a collection of data at multiple levels and association of all the agriculture producers, suppliers, sellers on an online platform, only then we can hope for investment in the growth in the agribusiness sector, and that will go ahead. Now, please remember, current agriculture sector, when we talk about it, is currently standing at $370 billion, and there can be an investment at the rate of 35 billion that can happen in the near future. But agriculture basically, if it is going to be promoted, require innovation and agriculture industry ecosystem to be basically provided into the malls and the other things. So for example, if you see the situation in the countries such as USA, Europe, you see all food items that are available in the market. If you have seen the markets of the Switzerland, even the fresh fruits are basically packed, they are properly graded, they are properly cleaned, and then they are provided in the shopping mall. So that is the type of a food processing industry that we try to or basically want to try to build in India. Now, in that, there have been problems with regard to the agri reforms. Again, the same issue. Whenever there is a digitalization, the one issue you should always keep in mind is the issue that is related to privacy. The second one is the agri reforms. Whether they will be game changer or not, we still do not know because they are still not implemented, although they have been mandated by the government, but still not working full-fledged, as the farmers are basically protesting in the two of the major producing or the grain producing states, that is Punjab, Haryana, and some part of eastern Uttar Pradesh. Other than that, both have relied on the digital use of technology, which may not be very beneficial to the farmers, as much of the farmers are not associated with the digital technology. So that may create another caveat for them to basically get all the facilities and the supply as they desire to. So that has been the another case. Okay, तो इसको ध्यान रखिएगा. Okay, will a bad bank fix India's broken banking system? So see, you please read the interview by yourself. I will give you a complete overview of the banking system, what had happened in the banking system, or how the banking system usually works. So let's say there are 100 depositors and there is State Bank of India and there is one businessman. So 100 depositors basically deposit some amount of money together in different accounts. Let's say the bank right now have 10 crores. The businessman goes to the bank. He says that I need a loan of 8 crore and will you give it to me? So what bank will do? Bank will basically assign the loan to the particular businessman of 8 crore rupees and they will charge a certain amount of interest and certain amount of capital per month from that particular businessman. Now, please remember, if the business is functioning smoothly or it is earning profit, it will not be difficult for the businessman basically to pay back the interest and the principal that he have taken. तो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल 8 करोड़ 10 करोड़ जो था सब डिपॉजिटर ने डिपॉजिट कराया, उसमें से 8 करोड़ देयर वाज अ लोन दैट वाज नीडेड बाय द बिजनेसमैन और 8 करोड़ लोन को जो था दैट वाज गिवन. And in that, let's say there is, he make 4-year installments of 2 crore each, plus 10 lakh rupees, sorry, plus 20 lakh rupees tax, 20 lakh rupees interest. So what he have to give away? 2 crore plus 20 lakh within a particular year. That is the amount of money the company is willing to pay. Now, please remember, let's say the business is not capable enough to pay back the money. So what will happen? The 8 crore that already has been given as a loan, the total amount the bank was expecting, what it was expecting? It was expecting 8 crore and the interest of 4 years 80 lakh rupees. ठीक है, जैसे सिंपल टर्म्स में अगर आप समझे तो मान लीजिए 10 करोड़ जो था बैंक के पास टोटल डिपॉजिट था, बैंक ने 8 करोड़ का लोन दिया. 8 करोड़ का लोन जो था वो 4 साल में उस कंपनी को वापस करना था. मैंने आपको कहा 10% इंटरेस्ट बैंक इज चार्जिंग, कि हम 10% की दर पे आपको लोन जो है वो देंगे. तो 2 करोड़ का 10% इज 20 लाख. तो 8 करोड़ रुपीज द बैंक हैड टू रिटर्न प्लस 20 lakh of first year, 20 lakh of second year, 20 lakh of third year, 20 lakh of fourth year. Although in banking operations the calculations are not so simple, but for the sake of understanding this particular article, I'm just giving you a simplistic view that how the banking system actually works. So how much money the bank was supposed to get? The bank was supposed to get 8 crore 80 lakh rupees. Now, please remember, let's say due to any unforeseen circumstances, the company is not able to pay. The company have only paid 4 crore and 40 lakh and rest 4 crore and 40 lakh is left. And the company says that I do not have any assets. Let's say there is a transition, company have been sold, company is not performing well, and company says that I am not be able to pay you the money, and whatever you can take, you can collect the money, but I will not be able to pay you back the money. So what banks will do usually, banks will go to the company, they will assess that how much is worth the company actually is right now in the present condition. So let's say the bank goes to the company, they assess that actually they have to recover 4 crore 40 lakh, but the actual company is 1 crore 20 lakh rupees. So there is a huge loss of 3 crore 20 lakh, sorry, 3 crore 30 lakh rupees. Okay. So what they will do, they will say that this is a too large a burden ठीक है, that will all be on the bank. This is happening again and again. So usually to look good what the bank did over the years, अब जब ऐसी सिचुएशन बैंक के सामने आई तो what banks did, banks said that if you are not performing right now, you owe us 4 crore 40 lakh rupees. You need some extra money, you take money from us and then you start functioning again and then you will return the money. So what the company started trying to do, the company started taking loan for paying the interest back to the banks. तो वो क्या करते थे, एक बैंक से मान लीजिए जिस बैंक को लोन वापस करना है, दे आर नॉट एबल टू पे दैट पर्टिकुलर बैंक, तो वो किसी दूसरे बैंक से लोन लेके उस पर्टिकुलर बैंक को जो थे वो उसका लोन और कैपिटल और जो इंटरेस्ट जो था वो दे वर पेइंग बैक. सो दैट हैव बिकम अ ट्रेंड. नाउ ओवर द टाइम व्हाट हैपेंड, Raghuram Rajan came in the era of 2013 and 14. He said to the banks that let's see, I know that there is a problem with regard to the lending system in India and the banking system in India. You have been told that you should be paying a huge sum of money to the corporates and there have been calls from the higher authorities from the government that is coming to you kisko loan de dijiye, and banks were allotting the loan without any headaways. Now it have become a major problem, so I ask you to please come clear on the assets and what kind of things you have. So these were called as non-performing assets. What are non-performing assets? Non-performing assets are those assets which are not giving any return back which the banks were expecting. जैसे for example 4 crore 40 lakh rupees जो मैंने आपको बताया, that is a non-performing asset. It is not giving back the money. It is there. Now what happens over in the bank balance sheet? Banks have a profit and a incoming and outgoing thing to make. Now in that, please remember, if the banks do not took away, banks had two options. Either they can write off the loan, ठीक है, मान लीजिए उन्होंने 4 करोड़ 40 लाख जो था, दे हैव बेसिकली कट डाउन ऑन देयर ओन प्रॉफिट्स. जैसे मान लीजिए बैंक का कुछ प्रॉफिट था 1 साल का और बैंक ने कहा कि हमारे को प्रोविजनिंग करनी पड़ेगी. प्रोविजनिंग का मतलब कि जो लॉस हमने अक्कर करे हैं उनको भी फिलअप करना पड़ेगा. तो बैंक सेड कि ठीक है 4 करोड़ 40 लाख रुपीज जो था दैट आई विल पे फ्रॉम माई ओन पॉकेट. तो इट विल ऑल कम डाउन टू जीरो. जो 4 करोड़ 40 लाख रुपए रिड्यूस हुआ था, इट विल अगेन बी, क्योंकि लोन तो ऑलरेडी पैसा दिया जा चुका था, तो एटलीस्ट यू हैव टू बेसिकली प्रोवाइड 4 करोड़. नाउ इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर बैंक्स टू बेसिकली do away with all the loan that they have given. So what banks try to do? Banks basically try to recover whatever amount that they can recover. जैसे for example 4 करोड़ 40 लाख, they will not let go of everything 4 crore 40 lakh rupees. They will try to recover the maximum amount of the capital assets by selling of shares, by selling of companies, or whatever way the banks have basically to recover the money. So it was a very time consuming process. So banks balance sheet were not free. बोलने का मतलब क्या था कि जो उन्होंने, जैसे मान लीजिए जब बैंक ने 8 करोड़ लोन दिया तो मैंने 2 करोड़ जो था वो इंटेंशनली साइड में रखा 10 करोड़ में से, क्योंकि 2 करोड़ की उनको रखना भी पड़ेगा. तो आरबीआई की तरफ से बैंक्स को डायरेक्शन है कि जब भी आप कभी किसी पर्टिकुलर एंटिटी को लोन एक्सटेंड करें तो उसके बदले सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ मनी यू हैव टू केप्ट विद योर सेल्फ एज अ प्रोविजनिंग मनी. प्रोविजनिंग मनी का मतलब क्या है कि अगर किसी तरह से डिफॉल्ट होता है तो वो पैसा आप यूज कर पाए. ठीक है, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. अब तक यहां तक चीजें क्लियर है. नाउ फॉर बैंक्स इट वाज क्रिएटिंग अ ह्यूज ट्रबल. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बैंक्स वर नॉट एक्सपर्टीज कि कितना असेट कितना आपको मार्केट में मिलेगा, सो दे वर नॉट एबल टू असेस. सेकेंडली, हाउ मच हेयर कट दे हैव टू टेक. हेयर कट का मतलब कि वो कितने लॉस पे जाके सेटल करें. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मान लीजिए अगर 4 करोड़ आपने किसी को उधार दिया हो और आपको जिसको आपने उधार दिया हो वो आपको कहे कि आप 1 करोड़ ले लीजिए, तो विल बी वेरी ऑफेंडेड. तो बैंक के पास करेक्ट असेसमेंट एक्सपर्ट्स की नहीं थी. सेकेंडली, द मनी दैट दे हैव केप्ट 2 करोड़ जो था दैट वाज ऑलरेडी कमिटेड, दे कांट बी यूज्ड एनीवेयर. तो उसकी वजह से 2 करोड़ जो था वो भी कहीं ना कहीं बैंक्स का स्टॉप था. तो व्हाट डिड द गवर्नमेंट डू? द गवर्नमेंट सेड दैट लेट मी क्रिएट अ asset reconstruction company or a bad bank. What it will do, it will pay you the 4 crore. Okay, it will pay you the 4 crore for the money that you are recovering, or whatever money the things will be recovering. It will take away all the bad assets or all the bad loans from you, and it will try to function or maximize out of the whatever company that have gone bankrupt. जितना भी उससे पैसा जो है वो वापस लिया जा सके, वो जो है बैड बैंक करेगा. ठीक है. इससे दो चीजें होंगी. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, द 2 crore which was already committed by the banks as a provisioning to the loan will be free. तो वो 2 crore भी लोन पे दे सकते हैं. Secondly, banks do not have the expertise, but the bad bank will have the expertise who will work on hit and trial method and they will give you the money. तो गवर्नमेंट ने इससे कहा कि अगर 30,600 करोड़ तक किसी भी बैंक को जो है जरूरत पड़ेगी तो दे विल प्रोवाइड. ठीक है. तो आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. तो एक बार इसको ढंग से पढ़िएगा, इट विल बी क्लियरर टू यू देन. ठीक है. द नेक्स्ट वन इज द stronger at the grassroots. So this is the Panchayati Raj. Now please remember, Panchayati Raj adoption was firstly happened on 2nd October 1959 at Rajasthan. Right now there are 2.63 lakh Panchayati Raj institutions in India, and people participation in the democracy is the root cause for the functioning of the democracy. When we talk about the COVID, please remember initially there was a top-down approach which was not very effective with regard to the control of COVID in the state of India. In the second half, if you see, PRIs played an important role. They reduced the risk, they monitored the people, they acted swiftly, they created containment zone, they provided ration facilities, and they also taken care of NGNREGA and NRLM, that is National Rural Livelihood Mission. Then we have issues with regard to the PRIs. According to the author, that is Ravi Mittal, he says that Panchayati Raj institution does not have a specific provision with regard to the disaster management. Disaster management is still a policy of the central government and the state governments, and no other Panchayati Raj institution or municipal committees are basically given the power to make their own disaster resilient plans. Now please remember, what could be the reasons for giving powers to the Panchayati Raj institutions of the disaster management? First of all, they can help building local customized solution. Community-based disaster management response is always better in compared to the top-down approach because they know the locality, they know the risk, and therefore the mitigation is also important. Then there is disaster management that is basically affected with the participation of the people. If there is no participation of the people, it is only the management you can look out for. If there is a participation, you can rope in local help. The training can also be provided. Small risks can only be averted at the local level, and that could go in a very long way in mitigation of the risks that may be caused with regard to the disasters. Okay? यही 4 चीजें इसमें जो है वो mentioned. The next one is the IITMM study Kaveri affected by contamination. So Kaveri, please see where this river is located. Located in the southern part. One is Tamil Nadu, see which is the second state. It is located in the southern India, and there is a IIT Mumbai research which have conducted that what kind of components have been found in Kaveri. These are pharmaceutical components, plastics, and whatnot that has not been found in Kaveri. So it is highly polluted river. And it is the second largest pharmaceutical manufacturer that is also associated here, which generally have posed threat to the river water, polluting the river water, and therefore threat to the living beings and the ecology of that particular region. So ये जरा issue यहाँ पे है. Next one is the UK and India exercise. So this is with regard to the exercise Ajay Warrior. That is scheduled to be held in 3rd week of October, and India and UK basically are in talks with the bilateral logistics agreements with regard to the issues, and they are basically negotiating between the 2 countries. ठीक है. ये दोनों countries जो हैं, they are negotiating with one another for the logistics agreement. Logistic agreement mean that our ships can use your logistic facilities and your ship can use our logistics facilities. ठीक है. Logistic facilities means they can come for repair, they can come for fuel, they can come for arms and ammunition, they can come for the basic traditions और जो भी चीजें हैं उसके लिए. ठीक है. The next news is related to India Nepal to conduct joint patrols for controlling trans-border crime. Please remember, India, Nepal and Bhutan border is basically protected by Sahastra Seema Bal, okay, SSB. So it is a paramilitary force, and this only borders two states, Nepal and Bhutan. BSF borders China and Pakistan. ठीक है, border security forces. नेपाल एंड भूटान इज बॉर्डर बाय सहस्त्र सीमा बल. ठीक है, सीमा बल, सीमा सीमा याद रखिएगा, बॉर्डर भी सीमा है. एंड what they will be protecting trans-border crime, smuggling, human trafficking, animal trafficking. This is also one of the major concern with regard to Bangladesh also. तो इसको ध्यान रखिएगा. Next one is the Lieutenant General Anjum appointed new chief of Pakistan ISI. Lieutenant General Faiz Ahmed has been replaced. तो उसको ध्यान रखिएगा. Lieutenant General Anjum is now the new chief of Pakistan ISI. Why ISI? ISI is Inter-Services Intelligence. Okay? And India is Research and Analysis Wing. I hope this is clear. The next one is World Bank retains fiscal year 2022 GDP growth forecast at 8.3. So they are saying that India will grow at 8.3% per year in comparison to the last year. So digitalization and services is the only way that the growth will go forward, and that is the shifting gear from the traditional approach of agriculture. ठीक है, तो इसको ध्यान रखिएगा. So I think that is it for today.